Hello, greetings. Danelle Boyles from the United States. I am recording this with the purpose of my review of the Rehan AI Teachers Training program. I have been in participation since mid May, so I'm going on about 2 full months of the training thus far. And I have to say that my opportunity to be able to participate in this training was very much something that I kind of anticipated as something to really look a little bit more deeply into my ability to expand and learn. I'm an individual that is always thriving on learning and growing and developing. My needs of my own personal education and growth change with the needs of my surroundings quite often. Um, I would like to add that when I began participating in the Rehan AI Teachers Training, I had accepted to become a partner in training as a U.S. regional partner to expand Rehan AI School into the United States. As an individual that has been in education in various forms over the last 25 years, I take learning, growth, and adapting ourselves into our journeys of learning very seriously. An individual that's been in special education. I have had children that are in special education and are developmentally challenged, so I've always been very, very involved with learning how the education system works and how it can adapt and learn and grow to more benefit not just educators but the students. And so when I began the training program and I looked over the material, I knew it was going to be a very intense handful of months whenever I first started it. And this was a challenge that I was open to accepting because this is an opportunity to very much expand education in a direction that it needed to go in. And here in the US, it has been moving in that direction for a while now, but it kind of fell stagnant in its development and growth of, changes of the time for a little while. And I feel like it's starting to pick back up again. So, as an individual who is participating in this course, I expect it to be challenged. I already am very proficient in public speaking and, doing many of the things that we do in the class, but it took it to a new level for me. As an individual that does coaching, conferences, um, educating, advocating for humanitarian efforts, I wanted to utilize these skills that I was learning to be able to adapt what I already did into, moving myself into a space of being even further pushed into or out of comfort zones that I had kind of fallen into. And so when I first began the course, even who I don't get intimidated by things very easily, I thought this is going to be a challenge because I'm one that I don't fall back and I don't let things slide when they get hard. I bite down and I push through, and I want to see myself succeeding on the other side because everybody is going to benefit from the new tools of learning, growth, and expansion of my skills. Because then we share those skills. But when I first began, I knew I was going to be pushing myself into new zones of discomfort by, creating spaces with the task that we had to do. And those are very skill building tasks. The way that it develops you through the program, it starts you in an area that you kind of start a little smaller, and it gradually builds you into adapting yourself to being able to do new things. But I very much enjoy the course. I enjoy the task. There's little tweaks here and there. The program is in constant development. Every day there's advancements in the material and changes in the site and in um, hmm, the dashboard, I guess I should call it. Where we have all of our materials and our assignments and things. And of course there are glitches here and there that we have to overcome. So, there's been a few of those that have occurred during my time, but they're always very quickly resolved, usually within, I don't know, 12 to 24 hours. And it does put a hiccup in your work whenever you're working on it, but it also teaches you patience. So whenever things don't always go your way, you just kind of have to sit back and maybe work on something else while you're not able to get into the dashboard. But it very much establishes a confidence. Individuals who are wanting to learn more confidence, those who have lost confidence. I went through a period this last year that kind of put me back a little bit on my heels. I went through some stuff in life that just kind of made me lose my wind a little bit. Um, and taking the course has, helped me reestablish a lot of those personal boundaries that I was used to carrying, and creating the self discipline again in order to push myself back to where I wanted to be. And, that's, really the gist of my review. I so far have very much enjoyed it. You have to be an individual that wants to do this. It's a personal choice to take these classes, and you have to be in the mindset that you are there to learn and grow and advance and develop. Um, it's a very easy course to use. Um, it teaches you to use AI as tools when you are stuck or whenever you are having difficulty with your material. And it kind of takes, I think it takes a little bit for individuals to maybe recognize this, because they're not used to using AI before they come into the program. And so it becomes very self assistive. And by self assistive, I mean you learn to find your own answers. And when you learn to find your own answers, it makes you self sufficient. And being self sufficient in your learning is very important, because when you're self sufficient in your learning, you are able to learn about anything. And when you're able to learn about anything, you're able to accomplish anything, honestly. So for me, I feel like that is a big deal, is that it teaches individuals to be very self-sufficient. But you have to be willing to push yourself out of your comfort zone first. And, like I mentioned before, there's many things that I already had knowledge on. I'm very familiar with using Canva and StreamYard, but there's many things with those same programs that I was not aware that you could do, that I hadn't used before. StreamYard, I'm used to being a participant. Somebody sends me a link, I click it, I join, I do the interview, or I do the class. And, I didn't really have a lot of experience other than just participatory in it. And so I've learned how to do, all of the, even I'm sitting here looking at my StreamYard dashboard, and you have the option to use banners and different ad media. There's still things that I have not adventured into, but as time allows, then I will learn more into that. But going through the courses teaches you how to use all of those things. It teaches you how to self-think. And that way, if you are wanting to learn how to develop a skill, it teaches you how to do that. Um, and the self-taught method is what is becoming kind of the new norm in education. But overall, my growth and my confidence has been reestablished, and I look very forward to moving into level 2 soon, which is going to present more challenges to overcome and learn and grow and adapt through. And I don't know where else I can and talk about. The instructors are very supportive. Um, they are sufficient in making sure that you have a comfortable amount of support in your class, but you are expected to be self sufficient to a certain degree, and that is part of the whole program. There is always somebody there, whether it's an instructor or a facilitator or support, and also other students help each other throughout the course in the class as well. The interaction online develops this very cool connectivity around the world to individuals that otherwise would never meet. And having that connectivity to individuals in other countries and in regions is very expansive for individuals and for students as well. But I feel like I'm, kind of rambling at this point. So I just want to say overall, the Rehan AI Teachers Training program is a very beneficial program, and anyone would benefit from participating in it, honestly. And, so that's all for now. And signing off again, that's Danelle Boyles in the US, and it is a pleasure to share this review with you. Take care.